I know exactly what you're talking about, and I don't see
All right.
it.
So this is March 14th. Let's start our meeting for the Greek Alumni Weekend homecoming. We'll have some new business at the end. Jennifer, if you would like to start because you're the first event, which is the Friday.
Yeah, so where we are Friday night is going to be determined by the number of people. If it's a larger event, then the cafe, I guess, is where we would be. And that is, we'd be required to do any food through food services, is my understanding. I think we're maybe going to be on the smaller side. David, do you know what that's and what the number cutoff is?
Let me jump in real quick. Because the registration page is up. I've got, I get reports that are really chopped down, but I have the entire, this thing is extremely long and it has everything, but it has Friday nights. I can't tell you from what I have here, these condensed versions, but I can actually send the latest, it's a huge Excel spreadsheet, but it has, Friday nights as registration. I can send you those periodically.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I can, after this meeting, I can send it out to everybody here and you can kind of stitch, but it'll have like, Friday night, who's at Willow, who's, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. But I just what I did is just had pulled the kind of condensed version. It doesn't have a Friday night breakout. 34 attendees at this point, and that's a sloppy 34 because I noticed there's a couple of dupes on here and things like that, but it's not.
Is that total or is that for Friday night?
That's total.
Okay.
But in that longer version of the Excel spreadsheet, you can literally pull it out. Let's say Friday night.
When was yours pulled? Because I talked to Buddy 2 days ago and he said there were 37.
Well, I pulled this at 9:04. This was run at 9:04 a.m. And then the one that I got sent, I got at 5. Now there were a couple that were there was one that was having problems. I sent her an email and she registered. But for a total. Yeah, that's total attendees at 34.
Okay.
And I didn't go through and look through. Like I see Bridget Sinaway's on here twice. It could be a little sloppy.
Yeah. I just know from a fact, from what the girls like in my sorority, most of them are planning coming up Saturday morning. So there's not a ton of them coming up Friday night.
Yeah.
So.
Can you tell me, David, what is the capacity of the smaller room?
I'd have to ask.
Okay.
Did she call it the cafe, or you're talking?
The cafe is the larger.
Okay.
She was saying
room is downstairs.
If it's smaller, we're going to be, if it's a smaller number of people, we'd be kind of lost in the cafe. So I'm kind of anticipating we'll likely be in the smaller room, and then that could be like if we want to do DoorDash or if we want to, pick up pizzas or something like that, is going to be easier to manage. And it's already put out there that it's a BYO. So I don't know if we want to get, a case of water bottles or, some soda bottles and a cooler with ice or whatever, however we want to do that. And I'll talk with Buddy more. We're looking at trying to have a call on Monday. So I'll kind of run those options through him and see what's possible. But until we know, which way we're going, we'll make some plans, but we're not going to know until closer to registration ending, which place we'll need to be in. If there isn't on the registration a way to sign up for Friday night, is there, David?
There is, but there is Friday night lodging.
Right. So we'll know if somebody's coming in lodging Friday night, they're likely to show up.
Unless they're local and they're just coming up for Friday, going back.
Well, that's what I was saying. We'll possibly have some local people that are coming on Friday night. So Bernie and I talked about, we'll just once we're closer to registration and we need to firm up and decide, that we can always send out a poll and just have people, check off if they're going to be there Friday night. And we can kind of make more solid plans at that point. So one of the questions I had was as far as audio.
Can I interrupt for one question just to raise my hand and ask a quick question? David, is that the alumni room downstairs in LLC?
There's several breakout rooms in the basement. There's an alumni.
I thought Kathleen had talked about one that was on the second floor.
There is one, yeah, I'm trying, God, I'm like drawing a blank on what they call the cafe. It has a name.
Yeah,
We've used it before, and it's got a side room, it's got a regular larger room, it's got a balcony to it. Then there's some breakouts. There's also an area called the Alumni Lounge,
Yeah.
which is
I
an
think that
open
might be
area.
the one she was talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of like an open area. It's nice. I mean, it's right as you come in, and if you came in, you could kind of like, hey, everybody's hanging out over there.
Hanging out here.
It's nice. I mean, I don't remember if there's a fireplace in that area or not, but
Yeah,
it's
there is.
nice. Yeah, it's a nice little area.
Yeah, it's when you come in LLC, you go down
Yep.
the steps and there's a whole reception area and then there's a room that's a private room.
Yeah, so maybe that would be a good place to do it, to kind of like that be our first choice, because it's likely going to be a smaller amount of people. And then if that room could be where, like, if people bring things to display, that we have tables set up for each
Yeah.
org, you know, that is right there and close by. People can browse, you know, as they come in, and we can set stuff up there.
I mean,
Or maybe-
Buddy's super pro. I mean, he doesn't let anything fall through the cracks. So I mean,
So I guess my question is, as far as like, if we're gonna have music or something, is that something that space would be conducive to? Like, is there audio video there, or is that more of just like a lobby lounge kind of place?
well, I mean, Buddy can get through conference service, we get AV, but if we're the only ones using the building, it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like there's no
Yeah.
other one.
I just
staying,
didn't know,
so-
I know that there's, you know, on the All Greek website, there's a place to, you know, you can upload pictures. So if we're gonna put out a call for pictures and do like a slideshow that just
Yep.
keeps running, you know, having that ability to have that up and just kind of playing in the background, you know, we can always do a laptop or a tablet or something, you know, could always bring Bluetooth speakers as far as that goes. My son and I both have the same speakers, and we can connect more than one speaker to play. So I could always bring those as a worst case scenario. But yeah, that was that idea. I didn't, you know, think we're not really doing any kind of programming for Friday night. So it's mainly just a kind of hang out and see who shows up kind of thing. So so really, until we know how many people, we're kind of planning on both sides, but not really placing any kind of order for, you know, food or reservation for food services or anything like that until it would become clear that we'd need to bump up to the larger size.
That works. We're getting into the weeds. I like it.
So that's pretty much all I have. As far as like name tags, you know, registration, like lanyards or whatever, that I assume is all like, let me know, David, like what the timeline for that is, when that needs to be done, if there's input as far as what we want to have on them, and how that's getting put together. You and I can kind of
Yep.
set up a time
Yeah,
to
we can
talk
set
about
up and
that.
we can run them through
So-
here, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So are you gonna need help like getting together swag bags and everything like that too? Or
So my plan was to come up on Thursday. And I do have, I think it's 3 or 4 people who are local and we're interested in
perfect.
helping. You know, until we were closer to the timing, I've
yeah,
followed
okay.
with them, but we haven't really, you know, needed to have any kind of committee meeting really until there was something to do. So
You can throw me up because I'm planning on coming up Friday, so I can even come up early. So
yeah,
It'd be
so yeah, once we get closer and we know what's what, that'll definitely. Bernie, that was one question I had as far as the swag bags. I figure you're the one who's going to be ordering.
Well, actually, it's
items.
David. It's David, and I was going to bring up under new business about when do we want to do a cutoff to order swag, because we're going to
Yeah.
need some time.
I think if we have a cutoff, we need to definitely blast it out there.
Yeah.
All
Facebook,
right, so
social media, everything. So
okay, so I will find a drop dead date to order stuff,
okay,
Yeah.
and I will let everybody know.
okay, perfect.
And then my other question was, is a bag to put everything in part of what we're getting? Or do we need to figure that out?
I think we need to either figure that out. Well, David, do you have anything?
I mean, I can get the Pitt Johnstown bookstore bags, the plastic ones.
Yeah, let's
I
do
mean,
that.
if it's not to be anything fancy, I can get it. I'm
That's
sure I
fine.
can,
That's
commandeer.
that's all we
That's
need.
perfect.
I can commandeer a case of those from somewhere.
Okay. You got that in your notes then, Jennifer?
Yep, I'm writing it down.
Okay, so I need to find the drop dead date for that. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's everything for me.
Okay. Jody, I think you're next. Or Grace,
think
you're next. I'm
Grace.
sorry. Grace. Grace is next. Grace is next.
Okay. We know kind of the way we want to go on the tour, and I got Buddy's information, so I said I'd talk to him after this meeting. I guess I just want to make sure, that we have places open or have keys, and then have access to any lodges that people want to go see afterwards. So
He asked me about the mimosa brunch. The mimosa brunch, is that in your wheelhouse?
I've been CC'd on everything, but I didn't think that was
That's
something I was taking care of.
right. I think people are registering. That's not really us. We're just showing up. He asked me, Buddy asked me about who was getting the champagne. And I said, I sent all that over and like the whole breakdown.
Right.
I think I need to, I told him I have the whole calculator of how we punch that in, and we
Right.
actually make money on that, but we're not doing any of that.
Oh, okay, you're right.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
I
not
thought Kathleen said they could handle it.
exactly, and that's what
Right.
that's what I told Buddy as well. I said, you guys were going to handle all that, so we don't really have to handle the mimosa brunch. It's the tours, and
Are we doing any programming? Are we having anyone speak? Or any decorations or anything like that? Do we need to have somebody do that?
I don't think we need to for a brunch.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just your
I
thoughts.
mean, I figure there should be somebody like welcome everybody, or, if we wanted to do any kind of like fundraising project or something like that, or talk about like, the alumni board or something, like if we were
Well, I think
calling for any action,
David
that
had.
would be the place to do it.
I think David, when we did the 50th for Delta Chi, David spoke, I spoke, kind of as a welcome. And I think we're happy to do that.
Yeah.
And we can
It was-
review.
It was loose but orderly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we kind of, I thought it went well. Then everybody.
So I think when we get to Jody, I think we should talk about, do we have a microphone and an amp out there if you want to make some announcements or want to talk from the gazebo?
Okay.
I mean, that's not something we want to talk about, but I think that goes into your fundraising piece that I'm going to table till the end as new business.
Okay.
Anything else, Grace? You're sorted with Buddy. Then they're gonna arrange people to do the tours.
I'm going to talk to him. Yeah, I had talked to David about it before, and David was thinking that maybe there would be some alumni reps that could help us out with that.
Let's
So-
do that. Yeah, let's do that through the Alumni Association, because you're going to get a good tour. If you get anybody from campus, they can do a 3.5 hour tour in about 40 minutes, which pretty much get back out of here. But yeah, we can handle. I mean, we can get enough people from the Alumni Association to do a good, quality tour.
If I could, no, never mind. I'll save it. Okay.
And then should I talk to Buddy about talking to the Alumni Association, or should I go directly to the Alumni Association?
I'm
I
the
can go
Alumni
through here.
Association.
Yeah.
Okay.
What we'll do is
Okay.
I'll double check with Buddy to make sure that all the buildings were open that day. We just gotta,
Okay.
like, I did, Grace, just kind of circle the buildings we want to go on, and then just kind of
Right.
dominate them, and then, go from
Right.
there. But
So
double check.
one of the things we talked about was getting some like think of voting signs, like campaign signs, and having those made to say which, where the houses were.
Mhm.
Are we still working on that? We just need a list of where the houses were.
With us,
Right.
it'd be a different house every year. It's
Well, right, but do we have that list?
I
I
do
can-
have a list of some of them.
Okay.
But going back before like 80s with organizations I wasn't part of, that's not very clear for me.
I think
So
if we start in 76 is when the housing actually got created. I don't think we
Okay.
go 76, 75, 76, and I think we can track where everybody. I can tell you where everybody was.
Okay.
No, I mean I documented it, so
Uh-huh. Okay.
yeah. I just need. Why don't we set up a time to where you and I just hop on a call, or we can even. Well, I'll call you after this, and we'll pull up a map and figure
Okay.
out where places were.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I don't know where Omegas were, because Omegas did have like musical houses.
yes, a different house every year.
Yeah, and I don't know where DZ's landed either. Like I don't know where they moved to, but
Right.
and I think and I'm not sure when SIGs went off campus, but I can get you pre-80s. Let's put it that way,
Okay. Yeah, great.
which is a baseline.
Right, exactly.
Once we get that, Grace, let's just send me a list and I can get signs made.
Okay, sounds good.
And we have like, Hawthorne thing and then have all the lists below it. If we have the years, that'd even be better,
So what we could do
Right.
is just put the Greek letters and
We can do that. And the
Greek
years.
letters, and then what years they were in that house.
Mhm.
So if we figure it out, I can send it down to RPM signs and we can get signs made.
God, Omegas are going to have so many signs. It's going to be like Sandy.
They're going to be
painted
everywhere.
all the
Oh, we're
trees
gonna be
behind my
everywhere.
house again.
In fact, we'll be in some of the townhouses too towards the end, I heard. So
Okay, cool. So that's moving along. Anything else, Grace?
No.
Jody, it's all you now.
it is me. I got a list. We're gonna go through it fast. So I talked to Buddy on Monday. We went through a whole bunch of stuff. We're basically for setup. They are going to set up all the tables, table chairs. They provide the tablecloths, obviously blue and yellow. We're going to be responsible for any decorations on the table or any decorations. And Dave, this is where he threw you under the bus. There's acrylic table tents. He said I need to talk to you about.
I got tons of them.
Okay. The
Yeah.
Greek signage for the tables, for the inside the table tents, he told me to talk to you. Just like making little letter signs. I mean, I
Yeah,
can do
we
that
can,
myself.
believe me,
Okay.
I've got probably within reaching distance, 50 of those.
Okay. Okay, perfect. If I need to do the signs for inside them, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Print all that here, Jody. If we get
Okay,
it,
okay,
we kind of figure out what we want, I can just start zipping it here.
perfect.
I will
Okay.
have a work study, at least one over the summer.
Oh, perfect. We'll make them busy.
A lot of hours and I mean, we can put her to work.
Cool, great. The banners that you talked about in storage, the old UPJ banners,
Let me see what I can find. Yeah, what's down there?
I will be on campus on Thursday. Next week. I'm coming for the job fair. So, if there's any way somebody could get me in there, I'll dig myself.
Yeah,
and take a look and see.
I'm here all day, better in the afternoon, but
Yeah,
late-
I'm not coming. I'm at the job fair 11 till 2. So
all right, yeah, we can do. I mean, my
Perfect.
whole Thursday is open.
perfect.
So I'm gonna
Pencil me
put-
in for 2.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
I'm
then
up
we can
in-
go and take a look, see what we have, how many we
I'm up
have.
in
we can-
Blackington.
Okay. All right. The fire pits will be out and set up. They'll be out around next chairs around them. There is a photo drop that Buddy has that we can set up. He also has some fun little props to go with it. He said we can have. I
Awesome.
would like to see about us getting some Greek letters. Once we know all the sororities and fraternities are going to be there, maybe get some little foam board letters so people can have their letters in front of them. I'm throwing that one back to you, Dave, because that was kind of like Dave might be able to do that for you.
What if we
Yeah,
just
but
had
not
what if we got, instead of having something small, why don't we just have a set of Greek letters on like the campaign style signs,
Yeah,
Just like we're doing
something
for
they
the
can
other
hold up in
place.
front of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we can just set that in front of like the group of people.
right, correct. So, yeah, something that they can hold up or put in front of them or
Yeah,
something
or
like
just
that.
Yeah,
stick
we
in the
can do
ground.
that.
Just move it.
Yeah.
It's in the ground. You peg it in, you pull it out.
Yep. Okay.
If I get a list, I can same thing, send it down to RPM and just say, here's what we need for this date. And we
Yeah,
can-
like I said, but I hate to make a ton of them for people that aren't even going to be there. So
Yeah.
we'll see
So
what
far,
happens.
so far I can tell you who's coming, so.
Okay. So, yeah.
Well, but the thing is, if we make them all now, we just put them in storage and then we got them for the future.
That's true. That is true. The DJ, so they're going to set up a DJ stand. They suggested putting the DJ inside the gazebo because there is electricity in there. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, because they said they could also give us a tent if we wanted a tent instead. But then we have to run electrical lines and everything else.
I
like
think
extension cords.
Yeah, seems easy.
And I would assume that the DJ is going to probably have a microphone and obviously a
Right.
speaker, so we can just have the DJ let us use that for announcements.
Perfect.
Bernie, Buddy said he was going to reach out to you for the name and the contact information from the
I already
DJ.
got it to him.
Perfect,
Yep.
perfect. The food is going to get served from 5 to 9, like I said on the registration. I gave him. We went over the food list that we had given him. It sounded like it was perfectly fine. He said that he's going to leave the non-perishables out after dinner, so like the chips, the cookies, all that kind of stuff is going to stay out. So we'll have little munchies there if nobody eats it. He is going to keep an eye on the registration. So as of right now, there's nobody with special dietary needs. But if we get a vegetarian, vegan, he can make some arrangements for that too. So that the bar. Currently, there is a 4-hour time limit on the bar. If we want the bartenders to stay extra, it's $40 per hour per bartender. Since the event runs from 6 to 11, him and I kind of talked about just running the bar from 6 to 10, do a last call, like at 9:30. If somebody wants to stay to 11, they can grab an extra drink or two.
Yeah.
Does that work for everybody? Then we're saving the $40 per person.
So you're doing bar
Okay.
from when? Jody, when are you doing the bar from again?
6 to 10.
6 to 10.
The event's over at 11 officially, so people want to still hang out there, but
Yep.
at that point I figured everyone will probably be going back to the rooms and drinking in their rooms anyhow, or drinking outside. He did suggest that we have a choice of 3 to 4 beers and a few wines. We talked about doing just wine and beer only. He wanted us to pick the wines and the beers. I don't know if we need to do that tonight, or if we could push that off a little bit.
I think we can wait.
Yeah,
We can do that if we want to plan to do that next meeting.
Well, I'm thinking even a month beforehand, we
Yeah.
should still be good.
April or May, we should be fine.
Well,
Right.
there's also, I learned last night, because I'm on the homecoming or Alumni Weekend Committee is now, we're now calling it, for UPJ here. So that's the other committee I'm on. Levity Brewing was brought up. Levity Brewing is in Indiana, and they're interested in providing things for us.
What do
So
you
you
want
may
from
be able to
Levity?
Go ahead.
What do you guys want from Levity?
Well, what I'm saying is,
I mean, I personally know the owners. I can talk to him if you know what you guys want.
why don't we just see if he wants to sponsor it and give us some free beer?
I don't know if we go that far, but I can see what he can.
Give us a
see what he
keg.
does.
Or a discount or something.
Yeah,
I would say it might also be a good idea, like if we have a selection, a list of beers, a list of wines, and then just throw a poll out there to people who have registered and let people pick. And then we know, if we've got,
If
You know,
Levity
hey,
comes, If Levity-
we pick, from the ones that have the most selection, the most choice.
if Levity comes, they're gonna bring probably 3 of their own brews and that's it.
Yeah.
And some cans, because they do a lot of canned stuff there too, but
right.
yeah, they're limited to
So
about
what if
probably
we
5
what
or
if we
6.
used some local breweries and not nationals? Let's support the local community.
I mean, there's Stonebridge right down in Johnstown.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, like you can easily throw up a poll and say, would you drink IPA? Would you drink a lager? Would you drink a dark?
Right.
Like that kind of thing. And then, can share that information if we're getting people to come, bring stuff.
Well, why don't we put a poll together on the Facebook page now and just start and leave it open for a while?
Yeah, that works.
I
for
may
me.
see the owners tomorrow night at a party. I could see what they say.
Wait till they had a few and then ask them.
They're pretty good guys. I've done some stuff with some other organizations with them.
So apparently Tessa's uncle or something works there as well.
Tessa's uncle works at Levity?
Some relative of hers works at Levity. She's the one that brought it up last night on the
I
meeting.
could ask. It'd be an interesting connection.
So you've got the connection, or if you want to, David, can we leave that in your hands?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can talk to them, and then like there's a connection through the marketing department or the marketing classes in Stonebridge here also
Cool.
down in Johnstown. So, I mean, either or. I mean, they're similar type of beers. I mean, but you're right. You got to ask, do people want to drink IPAs? Because that's maybe all you get, and if you want
Yeah.
a Coors Light, you're kind of SOL.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should have something that's kind of more neutral and
What
you know,
about
it can be a local brew, but it would be like similar to
what's
yeah.
the fruit thing that everybody drinks now? I'm sorry, I can't remember it. It's all
like
the
a
mixed.
flavored or shandy.
Yeah, it's the little thin cans. Oh my god.
Oh, those,
Are you truly? You're talking truly?
Truly, yeah,
busy.
Or like
Oh.
a hard seltzer or something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah. So probably a hard seltzer, and then pick out 3 or 4 different beers, and then some wine. Red. Yeah.
Red, white.
Red, white, and a rose or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
And he just basically suggested picking out the flavors of the beer, not the actual brand name of the beer.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
type instead of
yeah. Since I don't drink wine at all, I mean, for wines, since I
Yeah.
don't drink wine at all, that's totally on somebody else.
I think if we just have like if you have a white and you have a red, I think that's fine. Like I don't think we need to go into
Rosés or anything. Yeah.
you know, yeah, I don't
Okay.
think we need to go into rosé. I don't think we need to, you know, like
So we
whether
get
it's
a
Chardonnay versus the
get a
you know,
cab and a
Sauvignon Blanc
Chardonnay.
or you know, like you don't
Yeah,
have
or
to have
Sauvignon
2 or
Blanc.
3 different kinds of whites and 2 or 3 different like
What
you
if
can
we-
pick
What if we just got a 50-gallon garbage can, threw some fruit and some vodka?
a
That could
Fun.
work.
I mean,
We
that
could make
work.
some Mad Mountain Rains. I
sangria.
haven't had those in years.
Sangria's a little on the higher end that I wasn't thinking of.
I thought that was Friday night we were getting the garbage can.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Bring
we'll
the-
bring the
yeah,
cake in
nobody
the
said you
shower,
couldn't Bring
too.
a garbage can, right?
Right.
Right.
Fruit punch.
Fruit punch and kegs in the shower beside it. We're good to go.
We're making this too complicated, see?
Yeah. As far as tents go to cover everything, the university has 3 pop-up tents. They're not big. They suggested 1 for the bar. If we didn't put the DJ in the gazebo, 1 for the gazebo, 1 for the registration table. If we put the DJ in, we do have 1 extra little pop-up tent. They're not big. If we need a 10 by 20 tent, they're gonna be $150 a piece.
And we've made that decision. We're not going to have
Yes.
that. That's not in
Correct.
this year. The budget is done.
Correct. So I'm just letting you guys know if that comes down. If it rains, we are going to move into the student union in the Cambria room.
Yeah, that makes
They will
good.
make that, they'll make that decision by Thursday, depending on the weather. Because they need time to set everything up on Friday. So, if it looks like it's gonna pour down rain and be a washout, we do have an indoor space. Cleaning up after the event. UPJ is doing it, so we don't have to worry about it. Big plus there. Yes. And the only other thing I have is I know Buddy was questioning me about how we were paying for like extras and such, like decorations, things like that, if we're doing anything. I do know that we do have a small amount of money that we built into the registration fee, less the cost of the swag. I don't know if we need that for any kind of emergency fund or anything, but we should have a little bit built in there. I think we built like $6 a person in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think, especially if it's outside, there's not really any reason to do kind of decorations per se, but I know we talked about
Right.
like, you know, maybe, you know, waiting like organization colored balloons that there's, you know, you can drop them here and there. And if people, you know, want to meet up someplace, like there's their designation.
But he was just talking like we had any extras that we needed to get, how are we funding it? And I'm like, well, we have some money that we set aside. How do we get that money if we need it? So
Yeah.
But yeah, but so that was basically my talk with him. Him and I are gonna touch base on Monday. Real quick, I'm probably just gonna shoot him an email. And I'll probably see him on Thursday because he's running the job fair on Thursday. So I told him I'd make sure I stop by and make that up with him. So
Where is that, Jody?
it is the spring career fair.
Spring Career Fest. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was
What time are you gonna be there?
11 to 2. Give or take a little bit of time, because we have our network office meeting Thursday morning, so.
No, I was thinking maybe, since I'm so far away and can't see all these places, as far as if I check in with him on Monday, if you're there anyway, maybe we could do like a, FaceTime call or a video chat or something.
Definitely, that would work.
If you wanted to kind of walk me through the spaces,
Oh, I can definitely do
in
that.
the LLC, that I can kind
Mhm.
of get an idea of where the welcome stuff on Friday is gonna be.
Cool, I
There
can
you go.
definitely do that. Or shoot you some videos and send them back to you and say,
Yeah.
here's this room, here's that room.
Here's this room, here's that room. I mean, I'm sure he could probably do it too, but it'd be
Yeah.
more fun if you're gonna be there.
When I kind of talked to him, I was like, you do this 100 times. I've never been up to campus like in probably 10 years or so. Like, you just tell
Yeah.
me where you tell me where to set up the tents, you tell me where to do this. So
Yeah, yeah. All
but
right.
that is all I had.
Okay. David, do you have anything?
Like I said, I can tell you this, I got registrations up. Let me tell you I'm gonna do real quick. As far as Greek organizations, Omega Alpha Tau's got 16, Delta Zeta's got 4, Delta Chi's got 2, both of them are Werni. I don't know how that worked. Alpha Sigma Alpha's got 2, Zeta Sigma Tau 1, Alpha Gamma Delta 1, Acacia 1, and Chi Epsilon Nu is at 1.
Hi, Epsilon.
So you can see the Greek groups that aren't there. But like I said, I can start sending out, I can send you guys the entire spreadsheet. You guys can cut, paste, sort,
Have you guys done it? Is
Make
there
it
any way to
true.
do a mailer just to let people know that we're doing this?
The problem with the mailer is this. We can do an email through here. We can do a text through here. We can do all of that. The problem is identifying who was Greek and who wasn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Again, I brought this up with Oakland 100 times. I don't know why they bought a group. They bought software called AffiniQuest that doesn't identify your affinity group. And they're like, we're working on that. I'm like, this makes no stinking sense at all to me. I mean, I can do majors, I can do graduation year, I can do all of that. But if I want to know who was an Acacia, I'm like, I can't pull that information because it's not in there anywhere. So that's the problem. I mean, because what I would do is I would say I could have a complete,
So can I
email
make a
through-
suggestion, at least for the Greek organizations that are there?
Mhm.
The Greek organizations that are there that exist have an alumni list.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I mean, let me think if there's a way they can sort them out of the big list, because I can send, I can have Oakland send a text to everyone saying, are you interested in the reunion? It's a yes.
Yeah.
If it's a no, but it's just finding that group.
Well, even if you sent it out to just UPJ grads, I mean, a blot that said, hey, I think even letting people know that there's a Greek alumni thing going on to all the alumni, because it's open, like for fraternities, it's open to little sisters.
Mm-hmm. Let me talk to Oakland, because this email blast, I mean, I can have them design, like with something like this, where it's like, I mean, they do the whole,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, can I send it to like every living alum? I mean, is that possible? Can I have you guys just blast this out and, it falls on who it falls on?
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
I
let
mean,
me see.
I would say at this point, like, we have, a small number of registrants, that it doesn't look like we're gonna, overwhelmingly fill everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So I think, there were certainly, I know that there were non-Greeks who were friendly with Greeks and would potentially enjoy, like, if we're open to the idea of allowing people to come who weren't necessarily pledged Greek, then maybe that is an option as well. I don't know.
Yeah, and even if you send it out to everybody, the people that aren't Greek, most of them are probably going to ignore it. But you're going to get those people that we don't have contact with, like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any SIGTAWs that I keep in contact with, so there's no way I could reach out to even one or two of them and be like, "Hey guys, this is going on."
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
spread the
That's
news.
it. Yeah, you got to get somebody from within each group to say, here's a good list.
Yeah.
Yeah. or even just send it out, blast it out on their Facebook or their social
Yeah, yeah,
media and
right,
everything. So.
right.
And David, I can send you the Gmail address that Bernie had set up. That you could use as a contact point. That he and I can see, could respond to any questions or things that people have.
Yeah, I mean, other than the broadcast on,
Yeah.
Facebook, on LinkedIn, I mean, and maybe I can get someone, get some graphics made up here and just shoot it out again there. But you're right, you're not getting something directly in your inbox, but you're seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me poke around and see, it may be one of these things. I mean, I asked Oakland to literally run me, because usually they want to segment the list, and the segmentation I sent down was every living alum. And they sent me a list of 19,000 people that had every major, every graduation year. And I was like, now I have a master list that if I need, I don't have to ask Oakland for, like, they didn't get what I was asking. They were like, sure, we'll send it to you.
I mean, I think we may not be able to hit everyone, but if we can, like, I know I can get a list of every Zeta Kappa Alpha Gam from headquarters. That's,
right.
even if it's just the list of names, I mean, I can ask for contact information that headquarters might have, but I know a lot of people don't keep it updated anyway.
No,
So,
well, but that's still, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But I can definitely get that for Alpha Gam. So, Grace,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can
know
get that
if you
for
do that for
Delta.
Delta Zeta. Bernie can probably do it, the national organizations for sure, but it's a little harder for the locals.
Yeah, we have 2 Facebook pages.
Yeah.
But hey,
I
we're
mean,
winning
you've
in
got 16
registration.
people
So.
registered, so you're doing all right. Yeah.
I
but even if we can get just a list of names that you could then compare with your list and send, specific, updated, if we then have a list that's not
Bernie,
just a Facebook post or something.
Right. But
So
if
we could like post a poll about the drinks. We could post a poll about Friday night. We could, and then we're like, it's kind of that constant contact that there's something that we're going to be talking about.
I mean, if I can, I mean, I don't have the one pager that we sent out, that I usually send out, that Oakland designs, is something like this, where it has, and then it has a QR code that sends them right to the registration. If I can get them to say, look, I just want to send this out to the 19,000 living, breathing alum, and sure, there'll be a certain amount that'll bounce back, but you're going to hit tons. And this is something, once this is made, I can, as you can see, it's an electronic file. I can have it sent to any one of these groups.
Yeah.
Or to your point, even the groups that are here, and say, look, send us out your list. So
Right.
you may hit 2 or 3 times, but who cares?
Right.
When I get in on Monday, let me talk to Oakland that does this and see if they can do this. I can send them this, send them all our information. And
I think that would be perfect. Then we'll get people that are like older that we don't know,
Or younger.
Younger too. So
then we have that as a kind of an electronic flyer that we can post anywhere we want. Do you know what I mean?
sounds great.
Yep.
Let me talk to them on Monday.
Okay, cool. Next item, anything else, David?
No. I just, like I said, I'll send you guys out the big sheet. You guys can manipulate it. Maybe look at that one, and in 2 weeks send you another one, or before the next meeting, because it's going to change. But I'm starting to get daily and weekly reports, so I can tell you if numbers are jumping or whatever. I can tell you quick. The mimosa for the mimosa brunch, we're at 33 right now.
Cool.
So I mean, that's rather popular. The picnics are 31.
It's a lot of the people that I had like Omegas were coming in they were making a point to come in early Saturday, so they hit the brunch up. So
yeah, I mean, but that's I mean, so there's, and I think tours real quick. Tours we're at campus. We're at 19 at this point. I said there's a couple that probably need cleaned up, but I don't know if someone just registered themselves and registered themselves again to hold a place
I think there is maybe some confusion as far as people staying in Willow, like that if somebody registered, but then somebody else registered for the lodging, so they may be listed twice, maybe.
yeah, I got a couple of those calls.
Yeah.
Willow's got 4 people staying in it, and the Living Learning Center's got 5. But again, I'd have to look through this and kind of really see if it's clean. I mean, it's just whatever info sent in, but
Yep. Okay.
that's it. That's all I really have.
All right. Next thing, just a heads up, we were notified by the university that the logo that we were using included a panther. So although we did the polling and all that stuff, that was now changed. I asked which one was permissible and if I could share the screen, David.
Let me sit back here. And that is under
Share screen,
security. Yep.
Yep.
Share screen.
multiple people.
Yeah, sure. Are you able to do it yet?
Yep, no, I got it.
Yeah, it's on. There you go. You're good.
All right, so this is the logo that is approved. So this is the one that we're running with. This is the one that we would do with a swag now.
Yep.
All right. So that's all I have on that. Next thing, there is a golf outing being put together by members of the Alumni Board for the Greek outing on Friday. David, do you have any more information on that?
Yeah, you know what? You cut me to the quick. I've got prices and everything, but don't have them in front of me. It's at Windber Country Club. God, I don't have. Yeah, I'd have to find. I don't have the prices, but I can send you guys out the prices. And
Yeah,
that's
if you can send some stuff out on that for what, and who's organizing that?
The Alumni Association.
Okay.
So it'll be a nice way to kind of lead in. So if somebody does want to come up early Friday, they can golf. It is at Windber. I think they're doing a lunch and then a dinner, and it ends like right before like that 6 o'clock or whatever. So if you kind of went down and did the golf outing, you could be up here in about 2.5 minutes, grab a shower, and then you could do the social. But I'll send you out the price. I just don't have them in front of me.
Okay, perfect.
But it's reasonable. It's a nice course.
Library, memorabilia. So Jennifer, you had brought up earlier about maybe displaying memorabilia Friday night. I think we need to sit on the memorabilia until Saturday. I've been in touch with the library. The woman I spoke to was very nice. I didn't speak to the librarian. He has not called me back. But she said they'd be happy to set up some tables in the library. And if people wanted to, one of the things that I want to talk about at this meeting is if we want to bequeath things to the university. So rather than us, there's a lot of people who are getting older. Here's this memorabilia. You don't want to see it get trashed. Your organization may not be on campus anymore. So how does it get preserved? So I'm trying to work out with the library a way of bequeathing that to the university, them cataloging it and agreeing to handle your memorabilia gift. So there'll be a form that'll probably need to be filled out, but people can leave it. And we're going to try to figure out how to do that and display things. How does that sound, everybody?
Sure.
Okay, cool. As part of that, and this is my final thing, and I think we've reached that point in the conversation, there is some, let's pretend some of this stuff that is bequeathed comes back damaged. Perhaps this is what we do a fundraiser for, not a fundraiser, but a donation to the Greek alumni account that would be set aside to maintain, restore, whether they be old composites or cleanup, that sort of thing. So it allows it kind of like all the organizations to contribute, whether you're there or not, to helping maintain that Greek alumni memorabilia. Thoughts?
Sure.
You don't all
Kind
speak
of
at once.
archival maintenance.
Sounds good.
Okay, David, how do we do that?
When you say how do we do that? How do we do?
So if we're there, can we set up a QR code to
Let me.
like a GoFundMe or something, and let's come up with some language to help you. I think this is a good way to open the door for people to make donations. The goodwill that UPJ is showing in hosting this for us and welcoming us back, and we're no longer the redheaded stepchild. Maybe we can, maybe this is a good way to break that ice to some alumni donations for other things.
So what we're gonna start, we're gonna need to, I guess, I'm thinking, set up an account so that money goes into an account somewhere.
Well, I think it's the same account that we're using. Or not.
We could do that. I mean, I don't know if you want, I mean, it's up to you. I mean,
I think you wanted.
Separate account. Yeah, I'm sorry. You probably
Yeah,
do need a
for
separate account.
I'm just thinking, yeah, I mean, it gets
What's
fixed,
archival.
but I'd have to talk to the business office, set up an account. The QR code's easy, come up with some verbiage, and then it would just, that I'm thinking that if anything needed to be restored or preserved, it'd have to be invoiced through the university. Do you know what I mean?
Right, but we'd make the donation, so this would effectively go to the library. And
Okay.
I think we need to talk to the librarian. So
You
Ed
mean the
Galloway,
librarian here?
yeah, Ed Galloway
that's
is
Peter,
the
okay.
librarian there,
all right.
and he hasn't
All right.
called me back.
Well, let me tell you, it's Peter, because then we may be able to set up an account to go straight in the library. They have an account there. It sits there. An item comes in, you know, they go to the fund and they say, okay, we've got $5,000. This is a $500 job. Take some money out and then keep, yeah. If it's through the library, that may be the clean. I would just have to get him to set up an account if he doesn't already have something like that.
Well, would you be able to talk to him? Because he hasn't
Yeah.
returned calls.
Yeah, he's typical librarian, but I can talk to him.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
And I'd like to firm up that we can display in the library, and where would that be? And that could be a good thing to kind of culminate the tour. Maybe the tours culminate there. I don't know. But you
We
get to
talked
see.
about that before because that, you know, we're skipping the bookstore kind of thing and ending there so that it's not, you know, people want to stop and browse and some people do and some people don't. It doesn't slow down any of the tours. So if we're ending there anyway, it's right there at the library. So.
Right. And we would probably need some signage indicating that Greek memorabilia with an arrow or something. Greek memorabilia display in the library or something outside the library.
And it's
There's
something
room on
to,
that second floor.
What's that?
I mean, there's the alumni room on the second floor, which is,
Right.
I mean,
That's where we talked about doing it.
yeah, overlooks the mall, the lower
Yeah.
mall. It's a nice room.
That's where we talked about putting the display. So
Yeah, we can do it there.
and it's
you-
something we can announce at the brunch too.
Yeah.
Right. Grace, would you mind adding that? If you could make an announcement list for anything that we just for the brunch, we'll have another
Okay.
one for the evening.
Mhm.
And that's it. Any other new business?
Nope.
I will check our last
We,
meeting.
let me just say real quick, Brian. We're very close to doing a deal with the bookstore to bring back the old logo.
The one behind you.
And the idea is that we're working with the bookstore that we would bring back the old logo. There's some, you can imagine there's some, has to be on this, has to be on that. And then a portion of any proceeds will go back to the Alumni Association. They will assume about 90% of the risk in production and we'll just market it. But they're talking possibly, you know, hats, jackets, shirts, see what kind of stuff. It would be nice if we had it for the Greek reunion because we have a feeling this stuff will start to sell.
Yeah.
Once,
Yeah.
That'll be great for the Greek reunion.
once it's a company called Follett, and we've spoken with them to kind of get let us. It has to be done on. It's weird. It can only be put on retro type clothing. I mean, there's some goofy. You ran into it with the panther head. I mean, you know. So he's hopefully by the next meeting we'll have a up and ready or close to it.
Bags would be good too.
What's
Like
that?
canvas bags. Canvas
Yeah,
bags.
so yeah, he's going to see what we can put it on, what we can't put it on. It's the goofy how it has to be displayed. It's trademarked apparently.
Well, even if you could do like one or two t-shirts, a couple hats, like just some one or two things to have it there for us, that would be great. You know.
So Tim's working on that with the bookstore company to get us a
Okay.
little kickback to the Alumni Association. That's the only other thing I have.
Okay.
And I'm gonna see if we can get a Greek discount that day.
So we've
Cool.
got shirt sizes on the registrations, right?
We do. Yep.
All right, so then that's gonna, I'll figure out the drop dead date, and then we can push that out as far as that, because our last meeting is on May 9th,
Correct.
for this committee,
Yeah.
before the
Do we-
event.
Do we think we're gonna need one the week before, just a
I
real
think
quick
that
one to
might not
touch
be a
base?
bad idea.
The May 23rd?
Yeah.
All right, you wanna
Just,
do, can we add one to May 23rd, David?
I could. You wanna do another Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Even
can-
if it's just us real quick going, hey, here's
Yeah.
any emergencies we need to deal with.
Yep.
Same time, same gig, right?
Yep.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay, I just, I'm sending it out now. I will send this out to everybody.
Okay, I just threw it on my calendar, so.
Okay. Grace, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff and Mark haven't shown up on this. Okay.
And Mark is a SIG-Tau, so there's your SIG-Tau connection, which is just odd.
Right.
And he's still pretty connected, I think, with the guys that are still there.
Yeah, who am I missing? David. Oh, David's here. Should I include Buddy on this?
Sure. Yeah, it's always good to keep so there's less questions.
Yeah,
know what I
especially
mean?
at the end.
Yeah.
Hang on, what is Buddy's? What's Buddy's last name? Ross.
Roth.
Yeah, okay, I gotta add him.
Should be like B Roth, something like that.
Okay. All right. I just sent out the calendar invite for the May 23rd thing,
Okay.
and I'll find out when the drop dead date for swag is.
Okay, and then whatever we do, we post it a week ahead of time. For everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think your drop dead for food's gonna be like 7 days, but you can probably push it to 5 if we're nice.
Well, we know, I mean, we know what we're eating, so it's just a matter of the quantity of how many people are showing up.
Right, yeah.
when do we want to close down registration then? Probably, well,
I do it by the drop dead date for these t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, either that or people show up and they just don't get swag.
Well, then I think maybe that's what we do. Maybe that check-in, if you haven't, if you come in after that, you don't get the swag.
Yeah, I definitely say that. I mean, maybe 2 weeks ahead of time, we close down registration.
Well, let me find out when the drop date that is for swag.
I'm sure it's
Yeah,
probably more than 2
figure
weeks,
that out.
but
Depends.
If we have kind of a week leeway between when swag cutoff is versus when food cutoff is, we could always, let people register in that week, but.
Right. Food's
yeah,
gonna be a week
notification,
before.
They just don't get
We
swag.
get
Yeah.
about a week.
Yeah, food's.
yeah,
a week.
but we also don't forget with that week, we also have to get the names for the badges. We have to like do everything else. So
Yep.
I'm thinking at least 2 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
Let's talk
And
about
then
the next meeting.
okay, yeah, and then the last thing is just like everybody just blow up social media with this,
Yep. Yeah, David, if you can get us that, if you, get the flyer created with the QR code and
Let me get a
everything.
graphic created with the QR code. I can tag it to LinkedIn. There's 12,000 followers on LinkedIn, almost 13,000
But if
followers.
you can send it out to each of
But I can
us,
send it out to all you guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
send it-
blast it.
email to each of us,
Wait.
and then we can blast it in our Facebook
Yeah, and
groups.
if you just want to put it to
wherever else.
our landing page on the website.
Can do that. Yeah, let me talk
Yeah.
with them on Monday. I don't see why they wouldn't produce something like that. And again, I might be able to slide it through and say, here's my list, every living alum, and just,
Right.
they may
Well,
not
even-
catch it.
If you can't do every living alum, can we pick like a 20-year cycle? I mean, I know we want to try to catch
I mean, I
everybody,
can
but
pick, I can do like, and I hate to do this, because if you do 50 miles from Johnstown, then you're cutting out people. that
Yeah, let's not do
from
that.
Texas.
yeah, we
know what I
have
mean?
somebody coming from,
We
we have
just
somebody
send it to
coming
everybody.
from New
Yeah,
York.
let me
so-
see if I can, like I said, I got them to do me a list of every living.
Yep.
I mean, if there was a way that I could take those emails, let me see. Maybe I can
Right.
maybe I can talk to IT here to last to 19,000 people. Don't know.
Well, I said if they can't, I would limit it by year of graduation. Maybe go back 30 years.
I would just send it.
Or actually,
Let me see what I can do. Yeah, let me see if
Send
I
it
can
to
even say,
everybody.
look, yeah,
The
I wanna do it
engineering stuff
everyone.
went to everybody. Send it to everybody.
yeah.
Don't your list. You can't sort. There's no way to figure out where the Greek organizations. Send it to everybody.
right.
Yeah, I'll get an answer next week on that. And if we
There
get
you
an answer, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. So you guys.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't want to wait until the next until next
No,
month.
no, 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 no. I can, like I
Yeah,
said, they're gone for the weekend, so it's gonna have to
Yeah.
be Monday when I can talk to them
That's
about
fine. Perfect.
what I want to get done.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right,
Perfect. Send it to everybody.
not a problem. Let me see what I can do.
Thank you, everyone, for coming
Thank you.
to this event. And we will see you. Well, I'll see updates. If you need anything in the interim period, you'll get emails from me. If you have updates, send them with the group. Go from there.
And feel
That's
free to
great.
reach out to me if you need anything on this end. I mean, if you like, Jody, if you're coming in or someone's
I'm coming in.
Yeah,
they-
David, I'll just send you an email and you can let me know like a time that you and I could get together to
Yeah.
talk. Maybe,
Because I mean, some of this small
a
weed
week
stuff.
or two from now,
Okay.
when we'll have a better idea as far as like we can talk about the name badges and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's, I mean, yeah, that's something we can do. I know that, with Gross or whatever, we can do that.
Jody, one of the things that you and I had talked about was perhaps creating a separate head of a subcommittee just for memorabilia and to
Yes.
deal with the library. So when you're up there, if David could get you to the library and figure out if it's going to be in the alumni room, what we can do,
Okay.
Are you,
and maybe let's find a person to head that up, and I can pass along all the information I have and let them coordinate that.
so if you're done at
Yeah.
2, Jody, I just have to be in Blairsville for a meeting at 5:30. My whole afternoon's open.
Okay.
So if you
I
got
might
list-
even like, I am literally going up there. Our recruiters do not know I'm showing up there. Basically to see what they're doing while they're job fair. I'm basically checking up on them and being the police and seeing how they're handling this all. So, so I don't have to be there the entire time, but I would like to, I do want to check back at 2 to make sure they're still actually there at 2. So,
All right.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you, everyone.
you're
Looking
welcome.
forward to talking to you all again.
Enjoy
Talk to
your
you later.
evening.
Bye.
Enjoy your
Bye-bye.
spring break.
All right, Grace, I'll call you in a moment.
Okay, great.
All right, thanks. Bye now.
All right.